All right, we're going to get really technical. Not really technical, but a little bit more technical today when we talk about theory of mind. And so I'll start with describing to you a little guy who came to me. He was 4 years old and he needed to go first every single time we played a game. Every time he was the only one who would go first. And sometimes I would have another little person in the therapy session with us. And if that kid wanted to go first, which of course he did, my little client would freak out. Like this was a major deal. And so I can tell some of you are like, well, what's the big deal? Like, why is he being so controlling? Why is he being so manipulative? Here's the thing. He did not realize. Now, I want you to like believe me when I tell you this, because it does sort of strain credulity at some level. And yet this is exactly what's going on, which is he didn't understand that other people also wanted to go first. He had no idea that I, his friend, anybody else in the world, have different thoughts from him. Yeah, he didn't realize that other people think different things. That's a big deal. That's what we're talking about with theory of mind. That's what that means. And that is a big blind spot. It means that we don't understand anything about what other people are doing unless they're doing the same thing that we are. It means, in this particular case, that, he didn't understand that we all wanted to go first, even me. And I'm a big fan of telling kids, I still like to win games. Like, I actually do want to win this game. And you should see his face. He'd be like, I don't believe you. But it's true, right? So he had no idea. He thought that I wanted him to win the game. He thought that I wanted him to go first because he wanted to go first. And so that's just kind of a microcosm. But what that ends up expanding out to is because I understand that you have different thoughts than me, and you have different feelings than me, and you have different motivators than me, it allows me to have a conversation with you. It allows me to understand that you have different feelings from me about a certain situation. It allows me to know that I am not the only right person. I'm not the only person whose opinion or whose experience is the only one. My experience is not the only one. In fact, all of you are having your own experiences in the world. Now, I know for a fact that some of you just thought of somebody who really has a hard time with that. And that might be true. That might be somebody who is a little bit socially awkward, who's not as, maybe not as emotionally plugged in as you would either like them to be or think they should be. This is what happens. This is part of theory of mind. And so, the short of it is the ability to know that someone else has different thoughts, different feelings, different motivations from you. But what it trickles down to is the very basics. And so if we're talking about a 4-year-old, and this is about when theory of mind starts developing, the ability to pretend play. I'm going to be the post office worker, and you're going to mail the letter. That theory of mind is what allows us to play different roles in that scenario. Again, having a conversation, understanding when someone is hurt, all of those skills are encompassed under this thing. So it's a big deal. There's lots to read about it, but hopefully this gave you a little taste. If you are worried about somebody who maybe isn't demonstrating this skill or this set of skills, reach out to your child development professional. Your pediatrician is a good one, a speech therapist, a developmental pediatrician or a developmental psychologist, also a good option, a social worker who specializes in pediatrics. All of those are people who can help with understanding why and how theory of mind may or may not be developing on target, on track in your little person. Until next time, take care.